You were paid a grand total of all the 12 videos you made. You were paid a grand total of $12,000 US. And yet you made millions and millions of dollars for both Bang Bros, the company that you worked with, and Pornhub, the aggregating site.
Gotcha.
I think that something needs to change in the way women are approached, if even they are approached.
What you are saying is that the concept of consent is sort of meaningless in the power dynamic between the men, mostly, who are controlling the industry, and a young 21-year-old actress such as yourself.
Absolutely. When there's 4 white male producers in the room and you say something like that to them and they all just laugh, I mean, it's kind of devastating, and it makes you not want to speak up and say anything again.
The notorious video you were involved in, which actually involved 3 young people, you were one of them, and you were wearing the Islamic headscarf, often known as hijab. You must have known how provocative that was.
Naughty, naughty.
I verbatim told them, you guys are going to get me killed.
And they said,
They just laughed.
why didn't you then say, I'm not doing it?
Intimidation. I was scared.
You're a victim.
I knew that if I said no, it would...
If you put your name, as indeed I have done researching this, put your name into Google and...
On the Work Network?
Yeah, well, it was work. But the point is, you get these countless links to videos, the word star appears immediately. That is something that you will never, ever overcome.
Damn.
However much...
First of all, that's rude. I'm trying to.
It's rude for you to tell me whatever I did in my past. That's rude. Keep in mind, as she keeps the same name that she got from the industry, Mia Khalifa, to make money. That shows you what type of person we're dealing with, but it gets more interesting.
Overcome it.
I don't mean to say you want it to be, but it's the way technology, the internet works.
Yeah. I'm not very Google friendly, and we're trying to change that. One of the first things that comes up is the site that I do not own or control, but where the homepage is written in first person, like I am the one running it. And on my Wikipedia, it's posted as my official website, and we've tried countless times to get it taken down, including taking legal action, but the company they won't hear anything, and we've made them countless offers.
Let's go through this step by step. How did a girl who was brought by her parents to the United States from Lebanon, your home country, schooled in the United States, clearly smart, went to university in Texas, read history, how did you get involved with the sex porn industry?
Good question.
I don't think low self-esteem discriminates against anyone. It doesn't matter if you come from a great family or if you come from a not so great background. I struggled my entire childhood with weight, and I never felt attractive or worthy of male attention. And suddenly, my first year of college, I start losing all this weight from making small changes. And by the time I graduated, I was ready to make a bigger difference. I felt extremely self-conscious about my breasts because that was the first thing to go when I lost all the weight. I lost about 50 pounds. I don't know how many kilos that is, or stones.
Well, it's a considerable amount of weight.
Yeah,
It changed you physically.
Completely. So my biggest insecurity was my breasts. So I wanted to more or less go back to what they normally were. And once I did that, I started garnering all of this attention from men, and I was never used to it. And I felt like unless I held on to it and kind of did what was asked of me or what was expected of me, it would go away. And after feeling what it was like, that validation and the compliments for the first time, I did not want that to go away.
You were spotted, I think, on a street. I mean, there you were a young graduate wanting to sort of find a job, and you were spotted on a street by a guy who said, I can work with you, and clearly he opened up and said, it's the porn business. What was it in you that from far from running away, was drawn into it?
That's not how it was. It wasn't just, hey, do you want to come do porn? It was more so, oh, you're beautiful. Like, would you like to do some modeling? Oh, you have a great body. Like, I think you'd be great in nude modeling. Things like that. And after I came and toured the studio, it was very respectable. It was a gorgeous location. It was in Miami, in Doral, Florida. It was clean. Everyone who worked there was nice. All of their cubicles were decorated with family photos. Like, it was nothing dodgy or that made me uncomfortable. And the first time I went in wasn't the first time I filmed a porn movie.
Wait a minute.
What?
It was the second time. The first time was more so, do you want to do this? Like, sign the paperwork, et cetera, et cetera.
You have since talked about people who prey on callow young women. I'm just wondering, as we talk about it now, whether you feel a sense of victimhood, whether you look back at your younger self, because obviously now you're 26, but this is when you were 21. Do you look at that 21-year-old and feel that she was used, she was very much a victim?
I feel like she didn't have the tools to identify that she was being taken advantage of, and that what she was being told was lies.
Wait, whoa, wait a minute. 21 years old, you can own a firearm. 21 years old, you can drink. 21 years old, well, even before then, you can drive. 21 years old, you can own a house. The gates open up for you at 21 years old. So if we're prepared to say that she was taken advantage of at 21 years old because she chose to go into a certain industry, then they should be able to go to most 21-year-olds and get a bunch of 20-year-olds to do the same exact thing. I can guarantee you, if most 20-year-olds had that opportunity to say, look, we're gonna make you nude, we're gonna shoot you, you're gonna film you doing whatever we want you to do on camera. That's what we want you to do. I can guarantee you most 21-year-olds, especially if they come from a decent household, gonna be like, nah, I'm not doing that. But her, at 21 years old, a full-grown adult that can do anything in the world, saying that it's somebody else that preyed on her and did something to her. That's the victim mindset, but it gets better.
Maybe not so much lies, but, you know.
She had to clear that up because she was trying to make it seem like somebody lied to her. So in other words, they did not tell you lies. They told you the truth.
Trying to manipulate me to doing what they wanted me to do. I don't really see myself as a victim. I don't like that word. I did make my own decisions, even though they were terrible decisions. I think that something needs to change in the way women are approached, if even they are approached.
It is an industry, and
It's my own decisions. I made my own decisions, but it's the person that approached me. He should never came with me with a deal that I would want to do. That makes sense.
It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, but at the heart of it are young people, and men and women, who are asked to and agree to perform sex acts in front of a camera. How much control, agency, did you have in the process of making those videos, which we now know have been viewed hundreds of billions of times?
None. Very little, other than kind of saying yes, no to one outfit or the other. Very little say on what was filmed, the theme of it, the content, where it's filmed. It's not really up to you.
But obviously consent would have seemed to me as an outsider to be a fundamentally important principle. If they asked you to perform a particular kind of sex act that you absolutely did not want to do...
No, they can't force you.
Got him. We f***ing got him.
Notice how she'll frame it in a certain way. This is what a lot of women do because they try to play on your emotions. And as long as they can play on your emotions, then they could be right. She framed it in a way like those people was making her do something and she didn't really have a choice. But the outfit she wore, that's it. So when she said like, oh, I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I was exactly what I was going to do at the moment beforehand. I didn't know we were filming. Yes, that's kind of the reason why you hire people and you give yourself to somebody, because they handle everything for you and we're going to give you a price for it. That's the reason why you do it. Now she's trying to make it seem like that person was doing it. So now here it is.
Where it's filmed.
There we go. She had no control over everything until a guy had to say, well, they can't force you to do anything, right? Yeah, they can't force me to do it. It was my decision. Which one is it?
Absolutely not.
You've talked interestingly in the recent past about the mindset you had when you were performing in the videos. You said that you sort of blacked out and that now you look back, you can't actually remember very clearly a lot of the things you did. Do you try and explain to me what was going on in your head as you got deeper into this industry?
I think that the word I couldn't quite grasp when I said that would be adrenaline. I think my adrenaline was so high because I knew what I was doing was beyond anything that I ever thought that I would do or anything that I could have imagined doing. So adrenaline was through the roof, makes it hard to look back and remember exactly what happened and the things that transpired.
Do you find it difficult talking about it now?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And obviously...
She found it difficult to talk about it. It could be traumatizing for a person that changed. You could give this to her if she was a person that changed and she was really trying to change, and you could be like, all right, I can see how you could be embarrassed for something that you did in your past.
I mean, do you think it made a difference? I'm genuinely just asking that you're of Arab heritage. Your parents were from Lebanon.
I'm from Lebanon. I was born and raised there.
Exactly. You're Arab, and Arab culture is deeply conservative on the whole. And do you think that was an extra layer that you had to peel away as you got involved in this business?
Probably. I think a part of it was also rebellion and wanting to do something so out of bounds and so out of character that I shocked even myself.
And I guess this is a very stupid question, but of course your family had no clue as to what you were doing.
No, and they disowned me when they found out.
Did they?
Yes.
That must have been terribly hard.
It was. I felt completely alienated by not just the world, but my family and the people around me. So it was, especially after I quit, when I was still alone, even though I left. And I mean, I just realized some mistakes aren't forgivable, but time heals all wounds and things are getting better now.
Things are changing.
Yes.
I want to ask you about the mechanics of the industry in one other way, and that is the power, authority, money. First of all, we've talked, obviously men and women are performers in this business, but were there any women in positions of authority and control that you worked with?
Absolutely. One of the closest people that the talents work with was a female. She was very nice, respectful, professional. A lot of female employees in the back office, like VPs of sales and people on the tech side. So the offices are filled with women. And I asked her, I'm like, how did you find this job? Like, how do you apply for a job like this? The word of mouth through a friend.
The financial side of it is extraordinary too. After you made the video that I want to talk about in a moment, which involved you wearing the Islamic dress, the hijab, you, for a time, were the #1 most popular actress on Pornhub, which is this aggregator site that is wildly popular throughout the world, it seems, and you were getting hundreds of millions of views. And yet, despite that, in the world stardom, you were paid a grand total of all the 12 videos you made, you were paid a grand total of $12,000 US, and yet you made millions and millions of dollars for both Bang Bros, the company that you worked with, and Pornhub, the aggregating site. How could that be?
That's just how it is. I'm not the only one who was singled out by this. It's not like I had a terrible contract or a terrible manager. Not that I didn't have a manager or an agent.
At all?
No.
No advisors, nothing at all?
No.
And you were 21, you were barely out of childhood, frankly.
Yeah. No, I mean, the human brain doesn't fully develop until the age of 25. So my decision-making part of my brain still needed forming. There was no one to tell me what to do
But
or
this
to
is
say this is
important
wrong.
about the nature of the business, because you make a video, it lives forever online, and the more popular it gets, the more hits it gets. And we're not just talking about the United States. Many of your videos, but it seems very popular in the Middle East.
The most popular in the Middle East.
Which is interesting in itself.
Because they're the ones who are death threats at me.
Exactly. We'll get to that in just a moment. But the point of the finances is, however popular you became, the #1 star in this business, you had no residuals, no rights whatsoever to get any sort of recompense for your popularity.
None. None whatsoever.
And is that, to this very day, is that the way contracts work?
Absolutely, for everybody. Everyone, male, female.
Now she's trying to paint the industry as a bad place. Keep in mind, this is who we're talking about right here. We're gonna keep on bringing this up too. This is who we're talking about. We're talking about this person. This person. Look at the date, September 20th, 2023. She's been doing this. She's been doing it then, and she still do it now. So that she said, like, yeah, they're terrible. Let's also pull up her net worth, because that's interesting. That she said she only got paid 12,000 out of 12 videos. So it's about $1,000 a video, and I guess to her, that was worth it and worth, being disowned from your family and everything. So we don't have a pity party there for $1,000. But it says here that her net worth is about $5 million. About $5 million. She's not broke to any stretch of the imagination, and it's always based on whatever she did in the adult industry, because she was not making a net worth of $5 million otherwise. So, and she still uses that, and she still. I'm curious if she even have a. Let me see something. This is for journalistic purposes only. We're gonna see if she has a, OF. Do OF got like a search bar on their website or something like that? I have no idea how to find the OF. Yeah, I have no idea. Whatever. But let's just say if she does that, that would be even more crazy.
Male, everyone who comes in.
Now, I think we have to get to this one particular, I mentioned at the beginning, the notorious video you were involved in, which actually involved 3 young people. You were one of them, and you were wearing the Islamic headscarf, often known as hijab. And of course, then it developed into a sort of scene. You must have known how provocative that was.
I verbatim told them, you guys are going to get me.
And they said,
Oh, there you go. Hold on. I verbatim told them that you guys were going to get me ended. Think about that. And also go back to what she said earlier, where she said that if she did not want to do something, she didn't have to do it. But now she's telling them that you guys are going to get me ended. Allahu Akbar. Get the rocks.
They just laughed.
They laughed.
why didn't you then say, I'm not doing it?
Intimidation. I was scared.
But-
I knew that if I said no, it would, they're not going to force you to do it. At that point, that's rape. No one's going to force you to have sex. But I was still scared.
What she wanted was fame. And that's exactly what she got. She wanted fame, and she wanted to be the biggest thing. And of course, inside there, they're going to tell you, like, yo, you should do this and why you should do it. We think you're going to be big. I think this is going to be a crazy scene. But through her better judgment, she knew that she shouldn't do that. She knew that was like a ultimate hell no. And yet she still did it. But look how she's trying to frame it. Like, they kind of like forced me, but they can't force me because she can't say that legally. They say that they forced me, but she's framing it in a way like they kind of forced me. I really have no choice because I was so nervous.
What you are saying is that the concept of consent is sort of meaningless in the power dynamic between the men mostly who are controlling the porn industry and a young 21-year-old actress such as yourself.
Absolutely. When there's 4 white male producers in the room and you say something like that to them and they all just laugh, I mean, it's kind of devastating, and it makes you not want to speak up and say anything again. It's the same with when you sign your contracts. You have, the president and the CEO of the company sitting in the room with you, waiting for you to read it. And when you're reading it, you're not comprehending anything that's written because you're so nervous because people are staring at you.
He should have asked which number video, because you did 12, which number was the one with the hijab? Because if after you say that better had been the 12th video. The video in which that was your last one, that was your last straw. Then maybe tiny bit, we can give some tiny bit of grace. However, if it was video number 7 and you went back out there and did a whole nother 5, we know what type of person we're dealing with.
When you walked out of that filming area at the end of that particular video film, did you in your heart know this is going to be a disaster for me?
It didn't hit until, I think, the next day because the adrenaline was still very high. But immediately after it was released, it shattered my entire world. The reason I thought it was okay for me to do porn was because I thought no one would ever find out about it. There's millions of girls who film themselves having sex and do things like that, and no one knows their name. No one knows who they are. No one recognizes them. So I wanted to do it as my dirty little secret, but it blew up in my face.
It really did. I mean, from the point of view...
Wait. We got to check her age. And then after I check her age, I want to see what year this was that it could possibly have been. No, I can't even check it right here, because if I check it right here and something crazy pop up, That'd be wild. But she's 31 years old now. She said she was 21 at the time. That was 10 years ago. That's 2014. So 2014 is when it was the beginning of it. So it's like 2014. I'm trying to figure out, was wherever she was at, the Bang Bros, whoever that was, were they as big as they are now? If they were as big as they are now, then she knew exactly what she was getting into. To say like I wanted to do something like My Dirty Little Secret for $1,000 or whatever they agreed to, then that's BS. That I'm not trying to hear. It wasn't your dirty little secret. You wanted to become a star, and they said they was going to make you big, and they tell you do stuff to make you big. That's the reason why they could convince her to put on her job, because it was going to be big, and she wanted to be big.
Of the filmmakers and the aggregators, it was a triumph. You know, they got hundreds of millions of views straight away.
They called me lightning in a bottle.
Yeah. But the reality for you was that your face was now known throughout the world as the star who wore hijab.
Yeah.
And you got threats.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to say this because I don't think anyone heavily involved in ISIS has
But
a Twitter
people
account.
proclaiming support for
Absolutely,
ISIS.
yeah. They photoshopped a picture of me onto someone getting, and they said, I don't know exactly what they said. They said something along the lines of, you're next.
Yeah, but you knew that before you did it. That's the thing about it, is we can't have sympathy. You had fair warning. You had hundreds of thousands of years of Islamic faith, of warning of what you're not supposed to do. And she was born in Lebanon. Your family comes from Lebanon. She knows the no-nos. And then now when you go against the grain, when you cross that line in the sand, then you want to make it seem as if somebody is doing something to you. Like they're so bad because of what they did to you.
Even now, because you sit here so poised, and obviously a lot of time has passed and you've moved on, but do you think there is some sort of post-traumatic stress that is in you from this experience?
Yes, and I think it kicks in mostly when I go out in public because the stares I get, I feel like people can see through my clothes, and it brings me deep shame.
It gives her deep shame. Let's keep in mind, people that looking like people can stare through her clothes and brings her deep shame. Keep in mind, let's throw this right here. This is her real name. Where are you? This is her real name. So when she say, oh, people giving me deep shame and, you know, people know who I am and I just want to hide in the shadows, understand that this is the person that we're talking about. We're talking about a person that, I'm show you again, I'm gonna show this a million times during this stream right here. I just got to make sure it's right because our page is crazy. This is who we talking about. People staring through my clothes. I don't want that to happen. This is terrible. I don't want nobody to see me. It brings me deep shame. Deep shame in order to do that. But when you look at it, you see exactly what this person is still doing to this day. So that's big because she in deep shame. So this is what brings her deep shame. And like I said, name is not this Mia Khalifa. That's not her name. Her name is Sarah Jo Chamon. Chamon. This is noun. Chamon. Whatever. Yeah, that's her name. So why keep the name Mia Khalifa if you was trying to, you know, get yourself out of it? Why would you do that?
She belongs to the streets.